Hello everybody and welcome back. I just wanted to give you a little tour of what I'm doing in the garden. So I'm just cutting everything back. That one is the one that's supposed to produce in the spring. So you're not supposed to cut that one back until late summer. But that one produces for summer, so you're supposed to cut it back early spring. So I cut that back. This one is a cherry sticks from my daughter's cherry tree. I'm hoping it rooted. I planted that last year and I put some hormone powder. Let's hope that produced some roots so that we can grow it. And then all those were just annuals, so I cleaned it up. My strawberries, I just cut off the overhang. I have not removed any of the leaves from inside. And yeah, so basically I'm just cutting up back all the dead growth, getting rid of all the trellises, all the attachments. See, even these here, the tomatoes, the trellis has been removed and I've cut back, and that's why you see on the ground all these clumps of dead growth. Even here, all these clumps I'm gonna be putting back into the totes because why not? It decomposes, adds some nutrients to the soil, and yeah, so here I started to move the totes because these two rectangulars, I want one there for the peas, and then that one and this one, the round ones, I want over here along the pathway, and that'll be for the beans. But I wanted to show you this round half barrel was on that plastic. Look, oh, most of them have left. See, there's a mealybug in there. Yeah, so don't use plastic under your containers. Oh, there's another one there. He might be dead. But this, when I first took this tote off, there was tons. Probably, a dozen to a dozen and a half. But they've all disappeared now. Maybe they went under it. But yeah, oh, there's couple more right there. So this is a moist environment, and I guess that's what they look for. So I thought this was a good idea to use the plastic. I guess not. And then this one, this blue tote was directly on the ground. See, all my other ones are on platforms, and then I have the black plastic. It's just garbage bags to keep the grass from growing, because it's dark, the grass doesn't get sun, it's not going to grow. But I poked a couple of holes so the water can still drain. Those are my platforms, and most everything are on platforms. But last year I just decided to put these two right on the ground, and when I pulled it off, oh, you know what, I thought that was like moldy. That's just ice. Yeah, that's just ice. I'm wondering if there's... Man, I don't see no bugs or anything. Okay, so that's just ice. It's taking longer to thaw, which means that one, I don't know, that one's on plastic. So it might have thawed, and it probably has a bunch of mealybugs under that one too. So I just wanted to point out 2x4s. They used to be real cheap. I don't know, I haven't bought any this year. But or even the 2x2 over there on my island. I don't know if you can see that. It's actually made with 2x2s. But 2x2s aren't as strong. And I'll show you on my trellis here. See? Started cracking. Same with this one, where the screw was. Wasn't like that last year. It cracked. I guess the screw gave it a weak point. Metal probably expands and contracts. So does wood. So 2x2s aren't as good. Those platforms, they're made out of 2x4s. I've had them for quite a few years. And I made them, let me show you. See? Okay, hold on. Oh, see right there? So I have 2x4 going that way, which is protected by the plastic. And then I have small pieces going across that way. And the reason why I decided to do it that way is because the bottom one's going to rot faster than that one. So when this one rots, I can just remove it and put a new piece, and I'm not replacing these big long ones, because this goes all the way down, right? So this one has a little more protection than the bottom one, and that's why I did it that way. The black plastic I only just started doing recently, and that's because the grass kept coming up between the containers, and then good luck, you know, you're gonna have to go down with pruners and cut it with pruners. Whereas with plastic, there's no growth in between, only along the edge, which you can just take a trimmer and do that. See, there's another 2x4. And I've had those for like at least 3 years now. Some of them maybe even 4. And none of them have fallen apart yet. So if you're going to take that route, I definitely recommend the 2x4s. Here's another plant from my daughter's. It's supposed to be a lilac. So I'm going to add some fertilizer, nutrients, and water it good, and hopefully, like, the roots were good, they were intact, it was a good root ball, so let's hope that comes back. Now this looks like a messy, yeah, it looks like my craft room, doesn't it? I am waiting for, those sticks are where plants are planted, but they're supposed to be all perennials. So I'm waiting for the first sprouts to come up before I clean everything up, because if you think of it, in nature, they don't have someone going around cleaning it up, do they? So yeah, I figure why not just leave it for now. Once I start getting sprouts, like from the roots coming up, new growth, then I'll clean that up. It's not a big pile, it's just, you know, I'll get there. And then eventually what I want to do is dig these all up and then put 2 barrels. And I'll show you why. Yes, the lilac is planted in ground, and I'll probably get like a, I don't know, maybe a hydrangea to go with it. That should be pretty. And then over here, there's some hollyhocks. So that'll be pretty. See, that's my compost pile. All the debris goes there during the year and in the fall. And then in the spring, see, look at that, the soil's going down. Every year there's a hole, no matter how much I put wood there. Like over there, there's a piece of wood right there. And then here I had put wood here and here. And that one has wood too. And I still get holes every year, and I'm going to show you why. As you can tell, this is a very old fence. It's way due to be replaced. Look at that. Bunch of patchwork down there too. Bunch of patchwork. Here we even had to reinforce because that's getting wobbly. But look at this. Oh, that's where my cages are. Scott must have tossed it there. I'm gonna need those cages. See? All open. That is a very old retaining wall. Hold on, I can't let this gate close. Oh. Okay, now it's safe. See, look at all that. That's hollow. So the soil from there seeps through the cracks of the fence panels and goes in there. We've thrown some sticks in there. Anything organic. I'm gonna have to talk to Scott about the metal though. You can't put metal in there, only organic. But yeah. So the soil keeps going down and down and down. And if you look right there, you can see the retaining wall is starting to split. And at the end there, it's all rotten. It looks like there was a tree there or something and they cut it. And these, like, look at the center of these posts. They're hollow. Like that needs to be. And then of course the fence was reinforced last year. That needs to be done. So yeah. And like I've said previously, we don't own this house. So it's not on us to repair that. Anything structural is the owner's responsibility. So, and because of that, I decided, why am I planting nice perennials along here when that soil keeps going down and they're not going to be able to survive here? So, what I decided, so that I can have beautiful flowers, is that one seems to be okay. So I put the lilac there. But I'm going to get another barrel cut in half, so 2 barrels, half barrels here, and I'm going to put 2 half barrels here. I might remove those stones and put one in the middle and then move those stones over at this end. So it'll be, here, I'll go further back. So that fence panel will have 2 half barrels, and that one will have 2 half barrels, maybe one in the middle. So then that concrete goes along there, and then this concrete I'll put along this fence post. And so then all this will be half barrel planters with perennials in it. And then it won't matter with the retaining wall. And then once they do fix that, we'd be able to move the half barrels forward so that they can do that retaining wall and it's not going to affect the perennials. And then once the retaining wall is done, we can then dig the plants out of the half barrels and put them right into the ground. But until that retaining wall is repaired, you really can't plant anything in the ground. Lilacs I'm not too worried about because they get pretty big and they have a good root system. So if, you know, part of it dies, you're not going to kill the whole thing. As long as I can keep it alive and get it going. Once it starts going, you're golden. So, yeah. And I still have to cut back these peppers. These are the hot peppers. I got 3 of them. So you can tell that they have seed pods. So what I might do is harvest them all. And then once I enrich the soil, I'll throw them back in the bucket and see what comes out of it. And that one, I don't know. I've never done it before. That's borage. It should have seed pods. So I have to carefully cut that one back. Let's go over to the tires. Oh yeah, this is a makeshift trellis kind of thing for my pumpkin. But as you can see, the hose is kinked. It didn't work too well. So I think I'm just going to take it apart and not do that. And just use like chicken wire. Probably does a better job. So that's where the pumpkin was. And then this was my zucchini, which I'm going to have to enrich the soil. This tote I had to throw out because it was all cracked. And then that one was also a squash, a vining squash. My tomatoes. So I wanted to show you over here. See, there are the 8 tires. So I was able to collect seeds. So that's the poppy seeds. And that's the calendula. So really, I don't need to water it like I thought I would have to and then wait for it to grow. I can basically just empty these and get rid of them like this week. I'm going to put them in the lane with the others, and then we're going to either have someone come pick them up, or we will take them to wherever you take tires. I don't know. So that'll be gone. And then you see that there. That is supposed to go inside of that. It was part of the RV, the storage underneath, but it did not fill in the whole space. There was a lot of gaps, a lot of wasted space. So Scott decided he didn't want that. He'd rather buy square storage totes. Those low ones, they're like 4 or 5 inches tall, but they're long. He got a bunch of those for in the storage. So he didn't want this. So I'm like, okay, I can use it as a planter. So I got to clean them because last year I had them separate. That one slides into this one, and it's like a platform, right? So I'm going to put that over there once the tires are gone, so that there'll be some plants there up against the bird sanctuary. And then I think I'm going to do somehow a little sun tanning area here, like just something small, 6 feet by 6 feet, or maybe 7 by 7, you know, something like that. Just an area right here, because there are some people that do like to sit in the sun. You know, you pull out a couple of chairs, sit, have coffee, take in the sun. So this is where I'm at. I'm just working in this corner because the peas is the first thing I plant, and those are the 2 containers for the peas. And I want to remove this one because I'm going to put that one in. That one and this one are going to be right here side by side, and then that trellis will go for those 2. Because that in that corner is the peas, over here will be the beans, and then I'm going to put something here for the cucumber. So the 3 vining vegetables will be together, and they're not going to shade out the garden, because with me having my perennials along the fence, if I put it there, they will shade my perennials, and I don't want that. So I figured the best place is here. And I have grown cucumbers, beans, and peas here before. In fact, this is where I've always grown peas and beans. And then the cucumber, if I put it like right here, right? Because the sun is southwest, right? So if I have it out here, the house won't shelter the sun that much. And then I should have some nice cucumbers. And then the beans being here in the open. And then the peas, well, peas don't like the heat. It likes sun, but it doesn't like heat. So it gets enough sun in that corner to grow. So those 2 trellises are going to stay. This one's coming out. It's going to be going here. And then here I'm going to use that tote, which has always been for carrots. It's been like 3 years. So it's time to switch it out. So the that one is going to go here for the cucumbers. And then I have to choose a new container for my carrots. Now I have grown carrots in that little blue one, and there's also that one that's a little deeper. I grow the Nantes carrots, so they're not very long. They're the short ones. So I could, in fact, use those two and do carrots in them. But yeah, and I do have, I believe I have 2 varieties, so I could put 1 in each. That might work. So I'm not too worried. Right now it's just, see, I have still that to cut back. That blue one needs to be clean, to cut back. That one I have to cut back, check for seeds. This one is the one I'm working on right now. Then I have the chamomile there, which I don't know if they produce seeds. I have to check. This one is lavender. So if I remember correctly, I'm not sure, so don't take my word for it, but I think they're a zone 4. So if that is correct, then they may survive. It's borderline because we're a 3B, 4A. So that is a wait and see. I still got to clean up those 2. And then once all the trellises are, oh yeah, I wanted to show you the trellises. So as you know, this is my working area. My sink, my table, my 2 busboys. Here are the chairs that I have to paint, which I paint in this area. So here I put some of the trellises, all the metal ones, and then the wire ones are over there. And then here I have all my stakes, the bamboo ones. There's 1 wood one, bamboo, plastic, and then that's part of a rake that broke, so I use that as a stake. And then there's some more metal, so chairs actually should go there. So yeah, this is basically all my storage for everything. I brought the little chair here because it needs to be sanded and painted. Yeah, so everything, cleaning out the garden. There are the tote lids, which I want to make with tulle. If you like gardening, you should go check out Robbie and Gary Easy Gardening. They're from Southern California. And oh my God, she has so many cool ideas, of which I'm going to be applying to my garden. Thank you, Robbie. Love their channel. She actually cuts out the middle and then puts tulle on it and attaches it with twist ties. And then it's protects like things that you want to protect the seedlings from the birds, or brassicas. You end up like 2-3 weeks after it starts growing, you end up with worms and those white butterflies, the moths, whatever they're called, cabbage moths. But if you put that on it, it protects it. So I want to do that. And then the inside of the lid, she cuts them in strips and uses them as markers in the garden for so you know what you planted where. Like, that lady has so many cool ideas. Another idea she has, which I'll probably do with the tomatoes, is she buys at the dollar store those water jugs, juice jugs, and she makes a bunch of holes in the bottom half, all over, a bunch of holes. And then she puts her table scraps in there. And so whenever she waters in there, and all the nutrients, as the vegetables are breaking down, the table scraps, it adds nutrients to your plants. It's like so ingenious. Or is it so genius? I have to look up ingenious. I think it would be genius. because it is genius. Like, I am going to do that this year. Can do it in my half barrels too. They're big enough. But anyways, so there you have it. You know how I can talk. It's been 25 minutes. I will let you girl go. And I am going to continue. Here's my wagon, my seeds that I collected, the clips, my pruners, and the garbage. And this is my work thing. I can take it with me anywhere in the garden. So I hope you enjoy, and I will see you on the next one. Remember, do what makes you happy, and everything else will fall into place. Bye for now.